Hello, that's right, it's Nick Dutch here, yet again. This particular video is essentially a bit of a day in the life of a tarot reader kind of video, because a lot of you guys know that, I do tarot readings over the internet and over the telephone for a living, and not everyone realizes the importance of the work that I do. It is basically a form of therapeutic service at times, and the subjects which can be covered during a call can be many and varied. I came off the phone with a client about an hour or so ago. The telephone call with this client lasted about 45 minutes, which, okay, from the financial point of view, is important for me. But I don't want the calls that I have with my clients to go on for 45 minutes. I don't even want them to go on for 15 minutes, because I still think that's too long. But in this particular case, I had a female client who was trying to deal with and understand and come to terms with a relationship that she had with a particular individual. This individual who she has the relationship with, none of her friends liked, because they said that he was creepy, he was odd, he was peculiar, he was possibly even dangerous. With the progression of the phone call, I discovered an awful lot about the client and about what the client was about. Obviously, I'm not mentioning any names as client confidentiality, but the story has some importance, because there's possibly many other people out there who are going through similar things. My client's relationship partner had a very peculiar, very extreme form of sexual fetish that was affecting the relationship, and even more importantly, his ability to build interpersonal relationships with other people in society. He was finding this nearly impossible, and his personality and temperament was basically going downhill. Now she, being my client, had developed a strong attraction with him, a strong feeling of connection, a real relationship with this one particular guy who had this very peculiar obsession. I mean, finding out about peculiar sexual fetishes is something that you really have to do if you're going to be providing basically an adult therapeutic service to other adults, because you've got to understand a lot of the psychology behind these things, what drives these people to have these various ideas, and the various solutions and various therapies which are put into place. So I had to discuss with the client the fact that this one particular guy was not actually looking at his own problems and trying to deal with them, not even slowly. He was becoming more and more obsessed with this particular sexual obsession of his, and it was driving him basically more and more insane, more and more away from normality, and as such it was having a very serious impact upon her. But she still wanted to be with him. She still wanted it to work out okay between him and her, but there was no realistic or logistical way in which this complex sexuality could actually be incorporated into their own sexual play. And he was going more and more and more antisocial, more and more controlling, and it was actually a very sad story for me to hear, because I felt, I could really feel this woman's love for this guy, but the relationship wasn't really worth it, and I had to think carefully about the advice that I was going to give. Normally in a reading situation, it's not right for me to turn around and tell people, like, you should get away from him, unless of course there's something really, really bad happening there. And in this particular case, it was getting to extremes, and so I had to advise the client, basically, keep away from him. You know, this is not right. He is not right. So as far as the actual reading aspects of the whole call was concerned, that was only like maybe 2 minutes at the outside, and the other like 43 minutes was just talking about this peculiar character and his inability to look at his own problems and how they were affecting the rest of the whole connection. I mean, this guy who had the problem, he wasn't a young guy. He wasn't someone who didn't really have enough living time to sort out the problem. He's had his issues since he was a child, and it was getting progressively worse. I think he was in his late 40s or 50s by at this time. Now, I suppose the reason I'm doing this particular video is by way of illustration of some of the rather intense subjects that someone in my position has to tackle, and the difficulty of not only dealing with the problem properly, but also expressing solutions to the client in a way which is tactful as well as efficient and designed to help the client. It's a job which is seriously underestimated by a lot of people. I just wanted to share that with you today. Okay? Good fortune, God bless, and all that jazz. Bye for now.